By the way, I didn't really watch. I was listening to it in my car. Your Behind the Glass podcast yesterday. I was driving, and so I had it. The only annoying thing about YouTube is that if you're listening to it in the car, you have to have the app open.
Yeah, you can't close it and still listen. It's a pain in the ass.
I don't know why that happens.
Yeah.
But I was listening to it, so I wasn't actually watching, except when I saw Anthony's giant headphones for a second. But Earl, I know we're going to talk about Perrion Winfrey for a minute, in a little bit, in terms of what this means going forward in the position. But I just wanted to say, I thought Earl was really great when he was talking about his anger problems and kind of relating a little bit to what went on with Perrion Winfrey. But you got to find that stopping point. And as someone like Earl who has anger issues, mine are mostly controlled. I know that sounds ridiculous to say it's mostly controlled, because I get angry a lot. But the extent I take it to, I mean, when I was a teenager, when I was in my early 20s, like Perrion Winfrey is, I was quick to get into a fight. I got into a lot of fights when I was young, and some of them were over nothing, stupid reasons, as teenagers do. Now, I don't know if that's happening as much these days, because it seems like when there's an incident between teenagers these days, guns come out. And when I was a kid, that nobody, that wasn't happening. Out. Yeah, it was you beat the crap out of each other, and then
you went home.
You went home, and that was that. You put a bag of peas on your eye, and you lived to fight another day. But I was very much relating to what Earl was saying, but it also made me think that we have to realize sometimes, and I'm not apologizing for him at all. With Perrion Winfrey, putting your hands on a woman is never okay. Never. End of conversation. It's never okay to put your hands on a woman. I will say that it's easy for us to say, especially me, who's now 52 years old, and outside of no offense, Director Steve, I'm the oldest one here. It's easy for me to say, well, you got to learn to control that temper. Well, that took me a long time. When I was I never put my hands on a woman in my life, but when I was Perrion Winfrey's age, I could see somebody saying something stupid to me and me wanting to fight. Now, again, I knew enough even then to not put my hands on a woman, but I would have gotten into a stupid fight like that if that were a man saying something like that to me when I was 22 that I wouldn't get into now at 52. So we all learn over time. Hopefully for his sake, he'll grow up, because he may have thrown his whole career down the toilet.
Yeah, I think, and I come out on the human side a lot of times. I try to be advocates for younger players. This is why you need some sort of structure. You need there has to be something that the league and some people can do, because they're not. It's not sinking in for them. I think they do something where they just kind of say, okay, there's some people out there that may not like you. You may get into some trouble. But they got to do something more than the symposium or whatever the case may be, showing these dudes, look, man, when you get in here, you are different. They have to preach that. You are different. You are different from everybody else. Like, you're different from your family now. You're different from, this is the highest part. Like, the NFL is so popular that players are more popular than politicians, than clergy, than police. Like, you are the top of the food chain. That's it. It's the highest to high in this country. So if you don't understand that your life has changed forever, you're going to continue to make some of these decisions because you keep thinking, I'm part of the regular society. No, you're not. You're not part of regular society. You were set aside as a person that's looked at on a pedestal, whether you like it or not. And everything that you do is going to come back, and it'll bite you if you don't have the right type of energy. And I've always said, when you're this big, and I learned this lesson from, it was a police officer who used to come talk to our football team. And back then, us being a party school and drinking a lot, he said, listen, you guys don't understand. Like, even if somebody comes up and hits you first, like it could be a man or a woman, you physically can't hit them back. He's like, because you're going to go to the court of law and say, look, man, that guy, they'll use it against you. He runs a 4.6. If he wanted to get away from that guy, he could just run. And then you say, well, why do I have to run? They're like, well, listen, self-defense is defending yourself to a point where someone can't harm you. You're strong enough to restrain the person. You're fast enough to run away from them. And you guys are walking around in a pack of 5 to 6 of you guys that are top-notch athletes. Less than 3% of the people go play Division I football based on athleticism. So there's no reason, because if you hit somebody, they could die. Like, you could kill someone. You could punch somebody and accidentally he hits his head, you die. There's a lot of things that go into it, and it's unfortunate because Perrion may or may not get his career back. But at the end of the day, I think it's just another thing served to say, athletes, you got to watch yourself, man.
Jason?
Perrion needs help, and maybe you have to hit rock bottom before that happens, and maybe this is rock bottom for him. I don't know how much lower it could go. I think his career is in grave danger. I don't know who's willing to give him another chance right now. Listen, the book on Perrion is a lot deeper than what has even been out there. Like, we've heard stuff going back to Oklahoma and, the security department of the Browns, what they pulled up on him going into the draft, and there was all kinds of flags around this guy going into the draft and issues he had with vehicles this past season that didn't all come out. And I know a lot, but don't have enough confirmed to say, you know what I mean? It's one of those because of the role. I mean, but there's a lot out there with him. He should have been cut a long time ago. He had no business being even on this team to this point. After the most recent offseason incident, he should have been cut because he wasn't the charges. I don't want to misspeak. The charges weren't dropped because they were false. It was dropped because he went through this program.
Right.
So he needs to get his life in order. He needs to get his life together. And the Browns are on thin ice with stuff like this. They cashed in all their chips on Deshaun, and you can even go back to Kareem. Now, Kareem really sort of kept it in line. He had the one traffic incident after he got here, but the Browns were the first team to rush in and draft or sign Kareem really before he even had a chance to sort of rehab himself or whatever word you want to use. They were first in line. Then the whole Deshaun thing. Now Perrion. Guys, you're out of chances. You can't do this anymore. You cannot take chances on mid-level guys who have a history of violence against women. You just can't. There's plenty of other football players out there to go pick from. The Browns are out of chances as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
They've used all their chips now.
Right.
So it's time, and he should have been gone already. I hope he gets his life together. I hope he finds counseling. He needs it. Clearly he needs it. It's just, there's just too much smoke around this guy. And it's a shame because, I mean, go back to draft night. Everybody loved him because he seemed like such a great, entertaining personality.
And there is some talent there, but
not enough to put up with all this.
No. And the bottom line, though, on Perrion, before we move on, is, as anybody knows, if you have an anger issue, as Earl and I do, or Perrion does, or if you have an addiction issue, you can't. It's one thing to say he needs help. You have to want to help yourself.
Absolutely.
If you don't want to help yourself, if you don't acknowledge that you have a problem, then nobody can help you.
And
That's it.
And how many times have people gone out of their way to clean up his mess because of who he is, because he was a top football player at Oklahoma, because he played on the Browns. Someone has always cleaned up his mess for him.
But those days are over now.
It's time to clean up your own mess, Perrion.
That's
it's time.
If he wants to get another shot in the league or a life, then he's got to clean up he's got to want to get help.
Yes.
He's got to want to change his life.